All right, and here we are. And hey, thank you everybody for coming to Sylvia and my chat today. It's been, I think, was it a year ago? I think
Yeah.
yeah, the solstice was the last time we got together.
And here we are again,
Yeah,
right on the edge of solstice, at the
yeah,
precipice.
yeah. So it's like, the forces have brought us together again. So we got a great show for you today. We're going to get into a whole bunch of really interesting things. We're going to get into the demiurge. We're going to get into the transition phase that 2019 has been for us, things that are coming in 2020, um, where we are energetically, what we've gone through, what we're going through now, what we're going to go through, maybe get into some talking about the numbers 1111 and 144. Let's see. The Earth is going through a split right now. We know we've been talking about that. 3D and 5D is splitting big time. Sylvia was just telling me how she's been going through that right now, separating from the 3D aspects of the world and, going into that 5D. Let's see, an exposure of all the controlling things that are in the world. And I think that's just part of all the demiurge that's, all the demiurge right now that's being exposed. We're actually seeing it now. We're not just hearing about it and going, oh,
Yeah.
we're actually seeing it for ourselves. So, I think that's, one of the things that you were talking about as far as, leaving certain Facebook groups. And like I was telling you, watch. I just stopped watching a lot of YouTube channels, especially the big name YouTube channels, because I can see the demiurge, that false light in all of them. And it's like, it's falling away. You're seeing the truth. And before, I'd watch it and go, well, there's something about it. But now we're actually seeing it. It's exposure time. It's disclosure time. So we're really seeing that. And I know you're going through that right now, big time, aren't you?
Big time. It feels like the volume was low at the beginning of the year because I was guided away from a lot of channels. And see, the fight with the guidance for me is I always ask myself, I go through my mental checklist. Okay, is this coming from ego? Am I being, petty? Am I all the things? And it was no to all of them. And the reasoning when I get told to leave something, I don't always understand it, but I always know when I don't listen, it blows up in my face. So at the time, for certain big channels that I left, I didn't understand immediately, but it feels like now it's just volume is full blast, and now I'm seeing why. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see. And even still, that it's so obvious to me and you and others, there's a lot of people that are psychic, that are intuitive, and they are blinded. And that's shocking to me. And so I think it's very important for all of us to listen to ourselves, listen to your guidance. Your guidance will be super unique to you. And who cares if everybody else is doing this? Who cares? If your guidance tells you to do something, follow that because it's for a reason. So I feel like, and now in hindsight, I'm like, oh, wow, that came out about them and that came out about them. And I'm seeing all the darkness. And now I see why I was told to leave. So I'm very grateful that I listened, that I followed my intuition and I followed my guidance. Even though at the time I felt crazy, I felt like I was being judgmental. I felt like I was, I didn't understand really, but I just left. And a big thing that I've been guided to do the past 6 months was leave affiliations or groups or anything that I am not fully participating in, whether that be a Facebook group, a YouTube channel, whatever, a friendship, anything that I don't put actual time in and that I don't get joy from, that I don't get something from, some kind of exchange to get out. And when I questioned that, I was told, you're leaking life force energy. You're just leaking it there, 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 there. Look at all these places that you're leaking it, and that could be yours. So call it back to you. So I call back my life force, my power, my energy. I call it back to me every morning, every night, with intention, because I feel like it's happening when you will it, and you can just say it once. But I feel like when you verbalize it, you just give it more, you know, more power, more oomph when you state it out loud, declarations. And that's really helping me to, I think it's helping me be more focused and just follow my path, you know, because it's a trail of breadcrumbs. It's guiding me. And so when you eliminate those distractions, it's easier to see because you only have just this. And see, for me, what came up was fear, 3D fear. When I would leave all those groups or friendships, like, oh no, I'm never gonna have a friend again. Oh no, I'm never gonna, you know, like that. Because this path can be very lonely. It's isolating. But it's like that for a reason, because I think we're being trained to really listen to our guidance, trust it, practicing. I see like this big driver's ed parking lot and we're running into cones and walls and stuff, and we're learning how to navigate our abilities, because what's coming, you're gonna need that shit like to the max. That's all you're gonna have is you, and that's gonna guide you. That's gonna be your GPS.
Well, what I was getting while you were talking was two words, frequency specific. So the things that no longer match our frequency are falling away. So that's why we're kind of bumping into some of the things. We're bumping in and then we're pulling back because it's no longer our frequency. We don't match that frequency anymore. So some of these groups, it's not a vibration match, you know.
Yeah, and a lot of them, I enjoyed them. I actually like them, but as soon as I get a red flag and I detect any darkness, and I'm only using the word darkness for lack of a better word, because I mean, we are in a dualistic reality. So as soon as the first red flag comes, I leave. I don't question it anymore. Kind of like you can equate it to bad relationships. You know, in the beginning, you're like, well, maybe he's cheating on me. And then you talk yourself out of it. You know damn well he's cheating on you, but you talk yourself out of it. I know I did. And oh no, that's fear talking. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him another chance. Yeah, right. How many freaking chances do you need to give somebody? And that includes friendships for me. That was super duper loud. And I was under the false impression that, oh, but she's a light worker. Oh, but he's awake. Oh, but they know the lingo. Oh, but they're a healer. Oh, but they're psychic. That doesn't mean anything. Integrity is everything. And with Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto all in Capricorn, justice. Saturn rules justice. Jupiter rules justice. Anything that is not true will fall. And so I think that that's why we're being guided, a lot of us, especially me, to leave things that are not true. If I see, like, well, you say one thing, but you live your life very differently, I'm getting the hell out of there. Nope. Yeah. Why? Not because I don't love you, because it's been so hard. I have loved these people, because you know when you meet people that you think are your tribe, oh, it's everything. Because it's like you've been isolated and alone in this cosmic quarantine, and then oh my god, a friend to play with. You know, I equate it to like that guy in the Green Mile, that big tall psychic black guy, and he finds that little mouse and he's so in love with that mouse, and you're like a friend, and then you find out that friend is full of shit because they're all love and light on YouTube or Facebook, but then in real life they are not like that. You know, and I'm saying like things that are high integrity, like, you know, practice what you preach. And to me, that says a lot.
Yeah. You know, and we're noticing that faster too, because, you know, before our friends were so few and far between, we took more bullshit from them because, well, they're still part of our tribe. And now this.
Yeah, like no man left behind.
Yeah. And
so I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So we're cutting them out faster. We're discerning quicker now. I just was working with this fella with my horses, and he was coming in doing heart math with my horses, and he contacted me and said, hey, you know, I used to belong to this group and would really love it if you would join this group. And right away I was like, oh, here we go, another group, you know. And so the next thing I know, he sends me this email, and there's already this discussion going on this group, and I start reading it, and right away I was like, oh man, more of that ego. You know, I've been to Egypt, and this is what I did in Egypt, and I've been here, and
Yeah, like gagging you with their resume, right?
Yes, and it, you know, it was just like, well, I know more about this, and oh, I like, you know, I like this channel or better, and you know, and it was just
Lots
like,
of pedestal. Yeah.
Yeah, I just told him, I said, you know, I said, I'm at the point in my life where I don't need to validate my experiences or what I know or what I believe by making you believe what I believe. I don't need validation anymore.
Yeah.
It's all that ego stuff that's really it's like, come on, you guys.
And then what's the difference between that? I think that's the illusion right there. What tricked me was they know the buzzwords, they know the lingo, they know they're healers, they're psychic. Oh, so then they must be like me. That's not true. Look at what they do. Actions speak louder than words. Because I mean, it's true. So the proof is in the pudding. If they're not actually living honestly, and I mean, it's free to have integrity. It doesn't cost anything. Right. You're gonna piss people off, but you know, I feel like that integrity equals alignment to me anyway.
Right. You know, it's funny because talking about alignment, you know, it's like everybody, that 1111. Now I used to see 7s and 3s years ago, and now it's 1111 and it's 144. I see 144 all the time, 1111, and everybody's been seeing that more and more. And I know you've been seeing it a lot more too.
Lately, because we're always jumping and shifting, 555 and 222 all the time, and it fascinating, interesting side note. I used to think, because it came up in a QHHT session that I did with my son, and I asked, why do I always see the number 222? And I affiliated that number with my ex. And I thought, oh, it means him. This number equals him. Well, come to find out, with all the, you know, trauma we've been healing and all the wounds and, you know, going back and doing all that shadow work, I was looking through ornaments to put up the Christmas tree, and I found my kids' baby books, and there was a family tree page, and in one of the pages, my dad's name and his birthday was on there, and his birthday is 222. I was blown away. So I got the download. All this time you've been thinking the 222 was with your ex. No, he's like a mini character that had like a tiny part in your story. The big character was your dad. So all this work, all the issues that I've been dealing with relationships and men, all goes back to my dad. And it just blew me away, because I hadn't made the connection. Like, loosely I had made the connection, because obviously your father is the first man in your life, so it's the first relationship, but I didn't have full recognition until that moment, and everything just fell into place, and I got to zoom out like an observer and watch it, and I was, wow, fascinated, because all of a sudden my ex's storyline shrank, and it became what it actually is, a small part of a bigger story. Yeah. And so I was so excited because I can close that now, and I don't have to repeat all that shit that I've been living, because I get it. Okay, it was you the whole time.
Well, I think too that the meanings of the numbers change with the information that you need. And, you know, like 144, you see 144 all the time, and you know, all the angels are telling you that you're on your path, and you do the, you know, and then it's like recently I ran into 144 is actually out of the Bible, and it actually means the coming of the light. What does it say? I wrote it down because I wanted to, let's see. got so many notes here. Where did I put it? Anyways.
Not, well, as you look for it, I can talk if you'd like.
Well, no, here it is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the significance of the light bearers who came to change the world.
And it says that in the Bible?
It's in the Bible.
The significance of the light bearers that came to change the world? Wow.
And so so I attributed that to, well, it's the same as the white light workers that have come to change the world. So it was even in the Bible.
Wow, that's fascinating. I love when things sync up like that. And who knows if even that's a Mandela effect. Like, so many things are changing instantaneously. We're collapsing timelines, and we're closing up the old books and opening a huge new one.
Well,
and that's so exciting.
Yeah. You know, 2019 was such a huge transition. You know, we had talked about that before with, it's like, you know, you're birthing that baby and you're good. Okay, you're 10 centimeters dilated now. You're in that transition.
Oh,
push, get that baby out, you know, and
we're in that right now. We're in the birth canal.
We are. And so, you know, 2019 was all about that transition. And it's like, you know, you and I both had such a hard year last year.
I think a lot of people did. Yeah.
I mean.
So let's give ourselves an applause for all, like, we did it. We made it. We survived. Oh my goodness. There was so many times that I did not think I was going to make it. Wow.
Yeah.
Intense.
Yeah. And it, you know, it's just when you look back and you think of the things that you've gone through. And I mean, I lost a sister-in-law. I lost a mother-in-law that I'm sorry. She was pure evil. She needed to go. I hate to say that, but she really did.
You know, a lot more are going to pass. They're leaving because they're done here. Their mission is complete. And I was guided not to be afraid because I keep getting the signal that my dog is going to leave. Another dog, because I lost a dog and a cat last year. And so I have like a knowing. So I'm just waiting. And I feel like it's a gift when you kind of half expect it, because it's not like a sucker punch, because that can be very devastating. So, you know, just know, you know, there's somewhere else. It's like, you know, babies that have separation anxiety. I remember my kids, I could not leave the room, even to take a shower, to go to the bathroom. They had to be in the room with me because mommy's going to disappear forever. And I feel like that's how death is. We are babies and we don't realize they're still here. You know, mommy still exists. Just because she went to work doesn't mean she's never going to come back.
Yeah. Well, you know, and my dad passed away in August, and you know, he had been kind of sick, but he had just had an appointment, and they said, well, you got about 6 more months, and then he was gone 4 days later. And
wow.
Yeah, so that, and my dad and I were really, really close. And, you know, I was worried about him making it home because, you know, and I know the Anunnaki Recycling Center is coming down, you know, but still I was so worried. And, you know, some other friends that said, no, you know, he wants you to know that he didn't make it home. And, but,
good.
You know,
but he's not suffering.
Right.
That's what I had to remind myself with my pets when they pass. I mean, I know obviously a person is much more devastating, but I had to, I just focus on the fact they're not suffering anymore. And that helped me tremendously. That helped so much, because if I didn't think that way, I would have spiraled and not come back. Yeah. Well, you know, like you said, we were talking before about these waves of energy that are coming in. And I mean, the last one over the last full moon, I know that one really got you, and it got me too. And I really wasn't paying attention to, okay, this energy is coming in, be prepared. You know, it just hit me. And well, you know, it shifts from one day to the next. One day you feel fantastic and you're in that 5D bliss energy, and then the next day, bam. And you're like, whoa, I didn't see it coming. Yeah. So for me, it's these migraines. Like, and I get these dang migraines, and it's just, you try to
go on with your day. But yeah, so, we just had that week or two of just what the hell's going on. So it's more of that transition. But
Well, today we have a big energy influx coming in today. I thought, oh, I feel fine. It doesn't affect me. And then as soon as I sent that message, I'm like, wah, I start feeling like, oh, fuck, I spoke too soon. And now I'm like, oh, if I wasn't filming with Denise, I'd be taking a nap because my body's like, lay down. And I'm like, no, I want to do this, and this, and this. No, we're not doing any of that.
after you set the intention, I set the intention, and it's like, no, we're gonna do this.
I set the intention that this is gonna be easier than I thought possible. So
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
But
I'm just willing myself.
Yeah. But it's like talking about certain people that these, you and I, this is what we do. So we're like, okay, we got hit by the waves, and we still go doing our work, and we're not changing that much. But then the people that are close to us, that all of a sudden you see that this change is evident by the people that are close to you, the ones that don't opt out and check out and leave the planet, the ones that are here, like my husband. It's like this man did a 360. I mean, I knew there was a heart in there. That's why I kept him around for all these years. But I mean, last year, it was like he was going through the dark night of the soul. I mean, that whole from March on. No, I would say last November on. He was just going, it was just like, what am I doing? It was like there was a monster in there. And then, all of a sudden, he's just, and I attribute some of that to the death of his mother, because his mother was a tyrant. I call her the henchwoman. This woman she would babysit, 2 and 3 year old babies and force feed them until they vomit, and then force feed the vomit. This woman was raised in a Catholic orphanage, so I'm sure she was
a lot of trauma.
Yeah, and so but so it kind of coincided with her passing. She hated me from day one because she saw my light, and she would challenge me all the time, and I would just be like, I'm a pain in the ass, Indigo. I'm taking you out. I'm sorry, you are not the leader of the family. And but he's just been this change in him, and I'm sure a lot of you listening, you're probably seeing some people that are going through this, just I'm vegan, and so I just started, like you said, don't tell him about it, just start doing it. And I just started feeding him vegan food too, not saying anything, and he's just like, wow, it really tastes good. And then so before he would be like, hey, you're trying to feed me this shit, you're trying to force your shit on me. And so you can see that this change is happening all around us.
For those that don't know, because we had a conversation before we started recording, I was telling Denise that my kids, I don't force them to eat in any kind of way. They can have whatever they want. And I myself have been guided to give up dairy recently. And so I have. And so I guess you call that vegan. I don't call myself anything. I just follow my guidance. But if I move to eat something, I will. Like if I'm told to eat eggs, if my body wants eggs, I'll eat eggs. I'm not wearing any kind of label or anything. So for the kids though, very interesting. I noticed they're both teenagers. All I did was present options, and it's up to you. I don't care. I'll cook whatever you want. But I noticed that by leading by example, they want to do what I'm doing. And I find that fascinating because they're not little kids. You can't, like a 2-year-old, oh, mommy's their hero. But a 16-year-old, yeah, right. You can't tell them what to do. If anything, when I impose my thoughts or anything on them, they go extremely the other way. So just by being the example and eating the way I'm guided to eat, they want to be vegan. They don't want to eat dairy. They don't want to eat cheese anymore. And I'm shocked. Wow. So I think people don't write anybody off, because you never know. You know, there's cliffhangers. There's, just like in the movies, nothing is as it seems. There is huge illusions, and timelines are collapsing. There's walk-ins coming in. So, I mean, and I was just asking you, do you think your husband's a walk-in? Because I highly suspect a lot of people that we think are dark, hopeless, they're going to change like that. Either that or death, honestly, because those are the only two options. Either a new soul comes in and takes over, and then that enlightened soul that comes in is like, oh my God, you're everything I wanted you to be. Wow. And I mean, that could be anybody, your boss, your neighbor, your sister, your brother, anybody. And your lover, look, her husband. So you can't predict how this is going to end, because, and I love that. That's so exciting, because it's so full of hope. Like, I bet you never saw that coming, your husband changing like that, right? I mean, you wanted it, but like part of you was like, yeah, right, you know?
Well, you know, I've been doing this for over 15 years, and it was always a struggle. But you know, it's just proof that, you know, systems are coming down. We're starting to see system coming. And you know, us pain in the ass indigos, we're starting to see the fruits of our labor. Like, really. And you know, like I told you, you know, when I was working with a developmentally disabled this summer, when they hired me, they said, oh, well, you're going to have the flu shot. And I says, I will not get the flu shot. Well, I think they were so desperate, they hired me anyways. And so come around October, you have to get the flu shot. And I said, I'm not getting the damn flu shot. So
good for you for sticking to your guns.
You know, and I tell you what,
a lot of people are afraid to do that.
Well, and see, that's it. That fear is dropping away. I was not afraid that, oh, if I didn't have this job, I wouldn't have that paycheck, because so many that still work there that got the flu shot were saying, oh, I need to do the flu shot because I need this. I'm afraid I need this paycheck. And I was like, I'm not afraid at all. Something else is going to come along. And so.
Exactly. And it always does.
Yeah. And so I left. And 2 weeks later, they're calling me going, well, we're going to relax that flu shot thing, so we'd really like it if you would come back. After I'd already, you know, and I was like, no. But I did my job. I went in there as an indigo system bus, and this is a state job. And I went up against them, and then I called a couple of my colleagues, and I said, okay, I sacrificed myself. So next year when the flu shot comes around, don't get it.
Yeah, system disruptor.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe that was your mission, your contract, to go in and change that, and then you're welcome. Here's a gift. Right?
Yeah, but it was really weird though, because when I first started there, my second day out driving one of the company vehicles with a consumer in the back seat, a woman did not stop at the stop sign, and we just, and I totaled the company car. And
whoa.
Yes. And so it's almost like there was a little bit of that dark that's saying we need to stop her, you know. And so there was a few things but it was like, no, I'm supposed to be here. I knew I knew I wasn't supposed to be there very long.
You're empowered. I feel like that's very important, being empowered and listening to your guidance and not letting those little tests mess with you.
Right.
Because like if you were weak-minded, you would have been like, oh, I'm scared. The universe doesn't want me here. I better leave.
Yes.
No?
And I was just like, screw it. I got something to do and I'm going to do it, you know? So I think
love it.
We're going to see a lot of that fear fall away in 2020. You know,
well, first it gets louder before it falls away. It gets loud. So I think that it's super important. I've been playing around a lot with that zooming out and staying in observation. That has helped me tremendously, because fear is the veil of illusion. The veil, you know, that blinds us is fear. And the more you get rid of the fear, dispel it, the clearer you can see the truth, you know, beyond the veil of illusion, because the veil is fear. And when you actually see the truth, wow, it's nothing like the fear was telling me. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Because everything is a blessing. There
yeah.
is, I don't, even the crappy stuff that you don't prefer, that's helping you too. Like it's all helping you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like anything in the world. I think it's a fear we have to face. We have to bear witness, and it's just like what's going on in this veganism movement that's so huge. It's like, you know, there's kids that don't even realize that they think the meat is just comes out of the grocery store. They don't understand where it comes from.
I think there's adults like that.
Yes, yes. So, you know, with these groups that are going out there and they're showing, they're in the faces of these people.
Us, we're the examples in our families, in our groups, in our neighborhoods. Like my kids, when they go visit their dad and his very 3D family, they're the example, because they ask them, like they're aliens from another planet, well, what do you eat? What can you eat? And my kids say, everything.
Yeah.
Everything else. And meat
Yeah.
is just a tiny little portion. And they don't, I think that it's like taking off this heavy, you know, hood, and finally like opening your eyes, like, wow, there's other options. I didn't know, like, wow. And you're the example of that. Like, well, he's healthy, she's healthy, you know, it's possible. Wow, it's possible.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and I think too, a lot of it is because the energies are coming in, and the people that are working through their heart energies, they're able to feel the truth, not just see it, but they're actually able to feel it, and it goes beyond being empathic.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've been training all year, is exactly that, what you said, because like I said, when I've been guided to leave certain people or places, I don't see why, but I know it and I feel it. So I just honor that. And I feel like the more we do that, the louder that gets. We're just, we're developing that, that trust in ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, and like we said, 2020 is like, what do they say? It was supposed to be 7 more years after 2012. Isn't that 2019 was the 7th year? So now we're stepping into that. We're stepping into that actual age of Aquarius. And, you know, like that song, you know, when the moon is in the, what is it? The moon is in the 7th house. Peace will guide the planet, and love will steer the stars. That's what we're walking into. So by that happening, and the collective conscious really starting to, you know, that 100th monkey is not the 100th monkey anymore. It's the 100,000 monkey.
Yeah.
So what it's doing, it's helping this planet actually split. You know, and if anybody out there read any of Ashayana Dean's books, the Voyager books, she already said years ago when she wrote those books that Earth, 3D Earth, only had 50 more years, about 50 more years. 3D
And
Earth.
when did she write that?
She wrote those back in the 80s, I think. Somebody has.
Interesting.
Yeah, don't, you know, it's somewhere in there. Could be the 90s. I can't really exactly remember, but Voyager 1 and Voyager 2.
And honestly, for me, I feel like 3D can take as long as it wants. It can be here for billions of years as long as I'm not on it. I don't care. Go do you, have fun, enjoy, bye-bye.
Yeah, but I mean, she's saying that from her information. Yeah, that 3D Earth is
they'll destroy themselves.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think, you know, with all the changes and everything going on, you still see the people that they do absolutely are immune to the energies. They, you know, like you said, yeah, some will change, but there's still some out
Oh,
there.
I don't think they're immune to the energies. I think that they're resisting, because there's like when you're having a baby, perfect example for those that are mothers. Oh my God, I remember like you clenching, you want to resist, and that hurts more. You do more damage, to your body. It hurts, you prolong it, you're making it last longer. And when you surrender, like going down a water slide, you can't stop a water slide. You're committed, you're going down. And I feel like that's the best thing to do with these energies.
Yeah.
If you're tired, go take a nap, go with it. Like Abraham Hicks says, go with the flow of the river.
Yeah.
And you'll get there easier, faster, more comfortable, more enjoyable. If it's a time of hibernation, of cave mode, make the best of it. Like, enjoy it.
Well,
because I've been fighting with that myself. Like, my ego wants to go do things and be in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm in an energetic hibernation and I can't. It's not time for that right now. And I've been surrendering.
Yeah. Well, and they're saying that the people that haven't been doing their work, when these energies are really knocking these people, and these people that are resistant and that have got a lot of karma built up.
And they're just adding more karma.
And so
that's what I was shown when I was guided to leave the groups and drop the allegiances that don't match anymore, whether that be a place, an institution, a friend, whatever, a relative, a romantic relationship. I was shown we're dropping that density. Even my kids choosing to be vegan, you're gradually, naturally, organically dropping the density because you're going up. You're up leveling. Can I talk about my dream?
Yes.
Of the jail?
Yes.
I ask for guidance before I go to sleep. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. But I was asking, show me what's going on. What's happening? Because it was one of those times that I was being a brat and I was resisting. And I mean, I'll have like knockdown, drag out, scream matches with my team. And I'm like, I want this, and I'm bored, and I want to do this, and put me in, and I want, I think it's like that grieving how active I used to be in the 3D, and now it's like totally opposite, and like just being paused. And I've been fighting it because that's not my natural personality. I love to work. I love to, be a part of things. So I've been asking, show me what's going on. Show me in a way that I can understand. Because a lot of times I get shown things and I don't know what it means. And that's super frustrating. So I say, show me in a way that I can understand. So in the dream, this is so interesting to me that the way I get shown is an actual experience. It's like I'm dropped down into another timeline because it feels so real. It does not feel like a dream. It doesn't feel far away. It feels very loud, very vivid. So I wake, I was asleep. I knew I was going to sleep and I thought I was waking up, but then I'm in another place. So it's kind of like time travel. And I wake up in another place and I'm in a bed. And like in those reality shows, how they have, a ton of beds in the house and everybody's assigned a bed. I was assigned a bed and somebody's bringing me a glass of water and I'm drinking my water and I'm looking around and I have a knowing, like in the dreams when you're in a house and that's your house, even though it looks nothing like your house, right? So I had a knowing that I was in jail. And I knew I couldn't leave. And when I say jail, that's a really strong word. And I'm only saying that for lack of a better word, but it was more of like a halfway house. Like the white collar criminals, they put them in like a spa resort type looking place. And that's jail. Basically, the jail concept just means you can't leave, right? You're just, you can go anywhere you want on this property, on this estate, and it's very luxurious and comfortable. And you have all of the amenities and there's friends there, but you can't leave. So I knew there was a lot of light workers in that place with me and I could see them. And I knew I couldn't leave. but I also knew I was somewhere different, because when I've been shown where I'm at before, it was a bigger facility and it's huge and there's a lot of people. In this one, it was small. It was a small home and there was less people. So I was told some of your, what's the word, friends, people like me, some of them didn't make it. So there's less of you now. And so there was just a little bit of people in there. And there was like this sadness, this grief, kind of very lightly. It wasn't heavy, but I did feel bad for the ones that didn't make it. Like I had this feeling of like, oh, they were so close. I really thought they were going to do it. I thought they were going to be here and they're not. And like this sadness of having to leave them behind. Like you said, you know, like no man left behind. You have to leave people behind because this is a solo journey. And anybody that is at your heart resonance, they're going to come with you. You don't got to worry about anybody. You can't be doing anybody's homework right now. We're taking our finals and it's a sacred journey and it's important. Our souls repeated lifetimes just to get here. It's a hot place to be. Everybody wants to be here. So even though it's very difficult sometimes, be proud of how much, you know, we've accomplished. And in the dream, I was shown, so basically we're somewhere new and it felt like we're leaving imminently, like any minute now, but everybody was just waiting. And it's like, I remember this like loneliness, and I'm only saying lonely for lack of a better word because I don't know what else to use, but it was like the sadness of the people that didn't make it, and like this wanting, this like wanderlust, wanting, this restlessness, wanting to go be a part of something again. And it was like, not yet, not yet. Everything's being set up. Everything's being, you know, you can't because it's not ready yet. It's kind of like taking a cake out of the oven too fast. You don't want it raw and wiggly. You want it, so it was like that. So I thought that was fascinating because that's what it feels like, you know? And then like the perception of being in jail, like you can look at it like that, but you can also look at it like protection. You're being protected. When you're in the hospital, like you, or like in the ICU, if you've ever been in intensive care, you don't want to be there, but that's the best place for you if you have certain injuries that you need to heal from. And I mean, this is considered energetic injuries, I guess, and I'm being healed. And those of us that are in these, you know, cosmic quarantines, we're being healed, we're being upgraded, up leveled, our DNA is changing, our bodies are changing at a cellular level. I mean, our bodies are doing things that we can't even wrap our heads around. And that's why it's so important to give your little body a break. Tell it that you love it. And, you know, take that salt bath if you need it. And even if it's just 15 minutes, take that nap.
Yeah.
You know, really honor and respect your body because your body is doing the bulk of all the heavy lifting right now.
Well, you know, and I think too that the people that, and I've heard, you know, I've listened to people talk about this for years. They say, well, we're not going, everybody's going to go. We're going to take everybody with us. And there's, you know, people that are going, oh, but I can't leave my husband, or I can't leave, you know. Those people still have work to do because that's infringement on their free will. Those people are not ready. You can't take them when they're not ready. And, you know, but the timelines have, you know, through these years when I've been listening to people say this, the timelines have changed. So the people who maybe 10 years ago were not going to go, today are going to go, like you said. And I mean, I had a dream something like that. Oh my gosh, 10 years ago, I would have all these consecutive dreams. One was the fire, the other one was the earthquakes. And then I had 2 tsunami dreams. And the last tsunami dream, my husband and I got caught up into it, and it was, we were getting away from it, and I had my dog with me. I can't leave without my dog, you know, and he wanted to go down this road. And I said, you cannot go down this road. No, 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 no. And he went down it anyways. And I was so mad at him. And here comes that tsunami and it
Wow.
takes us. And we're inside the truck, and I have my dog, and I look at him, and I just remember being so mad at him. And I knew he was gone. I knew he was dead.
Wow.
But I was just like, it was that compassion thing. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, it was your choice. You chose not
Yeah.
to. And so I got out of there with my dog.
Wow.
And, you know, but that was back when he was being a jerk.
But talk about validation for what we just said about honoring your guidance, right?
Yeah. 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 So, you know, if you're with a group of people, and my husband has done this so many times, and now it was like a huge awakening for me. You know, every time he says it'll be fine, I know it won't. And, you know, and I mean, there's so many times in real life he's done this. Don't go, he would not listen to me. Don't go down, you know, it's like something as stupid as going on an ATV ride in the winter, going down to the river, and don't go over that river, it's not safe. Oh, we'll make it. Yeah, we go, boom,
Wow.
right in, you know, and I mean,
Yeah.
so now I don't even listen to him. It's like,
Yeah.
I get off, you go, I know better. And so
Yes, exactly. And being brave enough to do that. I think that's giving yourself permission to honor yourself.
well, and that fear, you know, because before we were afraid, you know, especially
But
women.
we don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right.
Oh, they're not going to like me. Who cares?
Yeah.
They'll get over it. You'll get over it.
Well, and I think you had said something too about reclaiming your power, and we've been going through that, especially for women.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes.
Know.
Reclaiming your power. Huge, huge, huge. And we were talking about how a lot of spirituality that we were talking previously that I've seen and you've seen, spirituality has been hijacked. You know, people that started off with pure intentions, I don't doubt that they started off wanting to help, wanting to, you know, spread light. And then all of a sudden they've come right back full center and they're 3D all over again.
Yep.
But they use the buzzwords.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're healers and they're psychic.
Yeah.
But they're 3D. Everything else about them is super 3D, very materialistic, very dense, dark, ego, fear-mongering.
Yeah. Well, that's the demiurge. You know, that's that false light demiurge. Okay, let's give them, you know, it's like, have you heard of the, oh gosh, mirror, what the heck was that? Looking Glass Project?
No.
You see the Looking Glass? I think it's Looking Glass. Well, back in the 1950s, all right, somebody out there is going to know better than me. Mm-hmm. The late 30s or the 50s, the government actually had a camera. Somebody invented a camera that could take pictures of the past and the future.
Whoa, what?
Wow. And so they got pictures of our future, and we know that we can change our future, but the pictures were changing to where we are today, and they realized we don't want to give them we got to give them a new word, not controllers.
No, the wannabes. They're wannabes because it's over. It's already over.
Well, they see through these pictures now that it's over with for them.
Wow.
And so that, and that's why I think they sent the false light, sent the demiurge in, because they knew this was happening. So let's give them all these people. Let's send all these people in to,
to reward,
speak their language, and just give them enough to make them feel like they can follow
to confuse you, to keep you spinning, to keep you waiting for a bus that's never going to come.
Yeah.
And to keep you disempowered. Most importantly, that's the biggest one, is fear and disempowerment. If they tell you that you need them, that's a bunch of bullshit. You don't need anybody. You have everything you need to heal yourself, to guide yourself, to manifest for yourself. So if they're sending you to anything other than yourself, that's a red flag.
Well, any of that new age that was, here, I can heal you. come to me, I'm a Reiki master, I'm going to lay my hands on you and I'm going to heal you. All that to me is the part of the demiurge, because nobody can heal you but yourself.
Yeah.
They can guide you. They can, the good teachers,
Right.
we have teachers
Coach,
to teach you.
like a coach.
Yes, to teach you how to heal yourself.
Yeah.
But these people that come in and, oh, I can do it for you. You know, I got this bottle of potion for $196 and it has all the right ingredients that's going to help you ascend.
Yeah.
It's all falling away now.
Or that begging for money, the begging
Yes.
for donations, begging for whatever.
Yes.
It's so obvious now, but see, it's kind of, for those of us that haven't really honed that ability to listen to the discernment, it can trick you, because, you know, they mix truth with lies, and it's seductive. I have noticed the pattern for myself personally, and then I started looking at others in my life and noticed that they get it too. So basically, when you're on this path, there will be moments of initiation where the dark does come back and try to seduce you, and it'll be small things, seemingly small. They have a huge price tag though, and nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna see you, just this once. And you know, it tries to get you to go down that dark road, to take that piece of candy from that sketchy van. And once you're there, they got you. They got you. You're spiraling down. And it's so, it's always disguised as a good idea. You know, it's disguised as a piece of candy. It's disguised as something, ooh, exciting. But you have to go through your mental checklist. Does this align with what I want to be now? Who cares what I've been? We've all done shit that we're not proud of. But who do I want to be now and moving forward? The new me, the highest possible version of me. And if it aligns with that, wonderful. Go do it. Take a risk. Enjoy. Adventure. Fabulous. And you don't have to conform to anybody's rules. But if deep down you know it's not with integrity and it's going to blow up in your face, don't do it, because the price tag is so huge right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, talking about the exposure of all of this now and the discernment that's coming out, it's like, you know, even if you're watching the news, you know, the music industry and the movie industry was so infiltrated, so heavily infiltrated, and by these wannabes. And you know, now you're seeing in the news where these people that have been controlled in these industries are starting to come out now. And they're exposing.
Brave.
Yeah, there's, the fear is gone now. They're not controlled, you know. And it's kind of like, I think what's really going on now is the destination. Everybody's been stuck on the destination. Oh, I gotta be rich and I gotta be famous, and that's all they think about. And they forget about the journey. You know, the journey. How was the journey for you to get to that place? You know, that is where.
Did you sell your soul to get there?
Yeah.
Like, you know, can you look at yourself in the mirror and respect yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, so really, I think a lot of them are learning, oh my gosh, okay, so I get to this destination and what is there left? It's
Right.
not what I thought. It's not really what I thought it was going to be. And so a lot of them, and I just think that, you know, this younger generation, and you know, like at the 60s when we had all this freedom music and you know, free love and all that happening, I think it could have worked, except for they had that looking glass and they knew it was coming. And so the CIA came in and introduced all them wonderful drugs to all of them.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, they were infiltrated through the drugs, the heroin.
Well, you know, and that's come full circle too, because that's where we are again, infiltrated by the drugs, you know, and people think, oh, because it's legal, it's good for you. Starbucks is legal. You know, sugar is legal. Alcohol is legal. That doesn't make it good for you.
No.
McDonald's is legal.
Yeah. You know, I mean, really, spirits of alcohol. You know,
Yeah.
people need to listen to the words. I mean, there's so much
You're
energy in the
opening yourself
words.
up to let, it's like opening all the doors to your car and letting entities hop on. Yeah, come in. And
Yeah,
if you're surrounded by other people that are compromised,
yeah,
that
yeah,
crap's gonna jump onto you.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Granted, you have to meet the vibration. If you're at a low vibration, that plays a big part. Like
right.
if you're pissed off or you're grieving, don't drink,
Yeah.
because that's exactly what's going to come to you. You're going to magnetize that low vibration to you.
Well, and just think, the entities. Oh, I just saw a movie and I can't remember what it was called, but it was on, oh, I think it was The Last Men in Black. And yeah, it was these bad entities came. They were the ones that was causing all the problems, and they were energetic, and they could take, like a jinn, they could take on the form of another. So they killed this guy, and what they do, they totally absorbed all of his energy until he was nothing but mush, and then they took on his look. They looked just like the guy,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
was like, if people would wake up and look at that, that's exactly what's been going on.
Absolutely. You know how Dolores Cannon would call them the NPCs, the non-player characters? I feel like that's happened to a lot of people, my ex included. That's
Yeah,
not him in there. That's something else.
yeah.
There's another being that is controlling that physical body. That is
But
not him.
but the ones here don't want to zap us till we're dead because they want to keep feeding off of us. So they
But
want to
if
keep.
you have to let them though, like a
Yeah,
vampire, like
yeah,
remember the Lost Boys, and they would say, a vampire can only enter your home if you invite it in. Don't
right,
invite it in.
right, right. Well, and
You have the power.
think of the slaughterhouses. Because the animals, look what the animals are going through at the slaughterhouses. Look at what most of the workers, because a lot of the workers in the slaughterhouses are refugees because nobody else wants to work there. So
Oh,
you got these refugees working there. They're down, they're depressed because of the horrible job that they have. The animals are going through the same thing.
so
They're
it's a loosh
scared.
factory.
Yeah, that's all
The
they are.
could you describe? Could you elaborate on what you call the demiurge for those that are watching that don't understand
Sure.
that?
Yeah. Well,
The
it's
false
just
demiurge. You
the
called it
false
the false
light.
light, I think?
The false light. Yeah. It's just another narrative for what's already out there. It's like, okay, we got the Luciferian worshipers, we got the satanic, the dark side. They've been in control all of this time. And so they know, they can see what's coming. Okay. So they're like, okay, we're in control, but we can see what's coming. We can see that new age is going to
Mhm.
be this huge movement, and these people are
Mhm.
going to fall away from the church.
Mhm.
We could control them as long as they were in the church, but now all of a sudden people are falling away from the church. Okay, we got to come up with another narrative. We have to come up with another way to keep these people controlled, but
Without them knowing.
let them
Without
think
them knowing.
that it's their
Okay.
decision, and
So
it's
kind of
not.
like a narcissist. When you meet the narcissist, he love bombs you and you think he's like the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah,
And then when you're in his clutches and almost dying, then you're like, oh no, what did I do?
yes, yeah. So that's what the false light demiurge is. Okay, we thought we got away from that church and we got away from that control, and what we did was we went right back into their hands. The
Mm,
narrative changed, that's all. Sure, there's the good, but we were so confused, like you said, we could not discern. For us to
yeah.
discern, okay, we got all these gurus and these channelers and these healers, we got them all in front of
Revealed.
us. Yeah, which one's a good one? Maybe out of the 5 of them in front of us, only one of them is really of the light,
Mm,
who really has control of his dark, because the dark really isn't bad. It's how we look at it and how we deal with it.
yeah.
We can use.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do need that dark.
Absolutely. You need that dark when you need to leave that abusive relationship, when you
Right.
need to stand up for yourself, when you need to fight back.
Yeah.
That has helped me a lot. So I think it's just equal balance. So I think the word is balance, not all
Right.
one or all the other, but balance. In alignment, because you're in the middle.
Yes, yes. And that's what they did to our society. I mean, the very beginning of societies on this planet, be it Lemurian or whatever you want to call it, before the bad ETs, the controllers came, it was an egalitarian society. So it was balanced. It wasn't that the women were in control or the men were in control. It was that both saw, it was like namaste.
All the benefits. Your strengths, my weaknesses.
Yeah. And so that balance, it's not, we don't want to just be a matriarchal society, because that didn't work either.
Well, I think that's probably where the gender roles were born, because the man is physically stronger, so they go out and do the hunting and all that, and then the woman is more nurturing, can create life, and so she stayed home. And I think that that's initially where it started, but then it got derailed somewhere.
Right. Well, and it's just like the women's movement. And that was another demiurge. That was, let's give the women, we can see this happening. We got another way of screwing up the family life. Let's give the women their freedom. Let's let them think that they have the freedom and take them out of the home, so they're no longer raising the children.
Well, I think that stuff starts off in a positive way, like even like spirituality. So this women's movement, you can compare it to spirituality, where they're both great ideas, but then they get hijacked. So there's a version of it that gets a virus in it,
right,
and it goes way left.
Yeah.
And where it started off as a good thing, some of it, not all of it, goes left. So I think that that's where you have to keep going through your own mental checklist, because I think we are all susceptible to being hijacked, myself included. And I catch myself like, whoa, come back, and I don't want to be like that. Let's reel it in. Just don't say anything. Don't respond.
Well,
take time.
They're not playing fair, because they're always ahead of us. They always know.
I think that it used to be like that. I don't think like it's like that anymore.
No, because they know, like I said, that they already know that they're done, that we really
we've been in the upside down world, like on Stranger Things. The upside down world is the dark world, and now it's right side up. But so all this shit is falling out, though, because when you turn something over, things are gonna fall. Things are being exposed. They're being revealed. So if there's anywhere where you're not in alignment, where you're not living the truth in any way at all, fix it now. Get right with the truth and you and people. And it doesn't have to be mean. You can be kind and just, this is it. I don't want to go. No, thank you. Why? Don't make up an excuse. Just be honest. I don't want to.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't like that's coming up, it's not that I don't like, it's just that there's another option for humanity. And I think that's just another different vibration. And I think, for you and I, we have a choice of seeing this, but it's the people who are turning their bodies into computers. They want that internet injected into their heads or whatever. So they want to be a cyborg, and we see that happening already. And I'm not really sure how that's going to play out. Is that going to go away with the 3D Earth? That's a lower vibration, a machine. They say we're in the age of the machines. Like that exterminator or exterminator bug.
Well, there you go. You didn't say that for nothing.
Yeah,
Well, I think we're leaving the industrial age that started in the 1800s with Pluto going into Capricorn. So we're leaving it, and now we're entering the age of Aquarius. and all of that is shifting away. But I think all of those, I don't think anything can be labeled as good and bad. I think it's just we're gonna, you know, when you get everything that you want, you're gonna be bored. I know my overachiever soul is like, yeah, give me all the karma to solve. Let me just, you know, give me a combo platter of shit to deal with in this life. I'm just gonna knock it out in one blow. You know, like when I come home with groceries, my 13-year-old son, he gets all the bags and he's like, his arms are breaking, but I'm gonna carry all of them in one trip because I don't want to have to come back. And I think, why would you do that? Do it, you know, a few bags at a time, like a normal person. No, he has to carry all of them. And I feel like there's a lot of us overachiever souls that are like, yeah, give me all of it. I'm gonna do it. I'm a warrior. And then once it's done, it's crickets. And what else is there? You want another adventure. You want to have fun, a new experience. So maybe there are some people that want to take that route. I know I'm not going to be.
It is. It's a choice, you know, but I think like you and I said, with what's going on now, this ascension or event or the waves, this awakening, we've already, you and I, we already said that we've both done this already.
Yeah.
And
it feels very deja vu. Yeah.
Yeah. And so maybe we will go on and do it in another galaxy and help another planet do the same thing. I don't know. Right now I'm feeling pretty darn tired. I'm excited, but you know, but I think it's like birthing a baby.
Yeah, you get really tired.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you know, and then 5 years later.
I changed my mind. I don't want it anymore. I don't want to be pregnant anymore. Never mind.
Yeah.
Let me walk away from this birth.
So, you know, and that's what we always said. It's like, why do you want to go to heaven? Why do you want to just go sit on a cloud and play a harp? I mean, how many?
No, we would be so bored. Yeah.
I know.
And, you know, it's interesting because I ponder what would it look like the switch over, right? Of like when you're in the new reality. And I am starting to suspect that the way I jump timelines in the dream state, I feel like it's going to be one of those where you just wake up in the new reality and, oh my God, it's here. But there's a recollection of the old way. And that's the only way that you know you're somewhere else, because you recall how it used to be. But maybe the people in your reality don't recall.
Right.
Who knows?
I think that's in store for us too, is that we're going to start remembering. We're going to take that with us.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to wake up and go, oh, who am I? What you know?
Although some days I do feel like that. Who am I? Where am I?
Yeah.
You know, forgetting names, forgetting people, forgetting. And I believe that is evidence of timelines collapsing.
Oh, yeah.
Because the old stories, they don't apply anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're solved. It's wrapped up. Because I see people that I was really close to in my former life, like in law enforcement, and I cannot remember their name.
Yeah.
Or I don't, you know, I used to know everything about them, their phone number, their address, everything. And now I can't remember.
Yeah.
That's so interesting to me. It's really interesting. Like when you step out and just watch, like you're watching a movie, it's fascinating.
The deja vu too, I got hit with such a strong deja vu the other day. I was in Natural Grocers and it was just like that time went, and I was right back, and I knew right when it happened, I knew that it was I did this before. It wasn't like, oh, that sounds familiar. I just knew. Oh, you know, pay attention, Denise. Pay attention.
That's exciting. That's exciting. I love when weird stuff like that happens, because I feel like that's what keeps you excited and engaged in this awakening, is when you open your eyes to all the miracles and the magic, because then it does make life, it makes all this crap worth it. Oh my goodness, that magic stuff is fascinating. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to just see more and more of that. Yeah. Yes. More and more of that. So there was something else that I wanted to cover, and it just blew my mind.
It left.
It left.
You know what I've noticed? Clocks.
It left the building.
clocks, you know, the whole awakening, let's face it. I have been getting the message, you know, time is an illusion, it's an illusion. And I would play with time. Like I would play, and this is like a year ago. I would play with time where I would tell myself, nope, I'm not, I refuse to accept that. I'm not late. I'm not late. You know, I'm going to stretch it. And I would stretch the time. And then I would get ready calmly, slowly at my leisure, without rushing myself. And then I would leave to go to my destination, and I would get there early. So I would play with time like that, like with the belief system of, oh, I'm going to be late, and this is what time it is, and I only have this. So I would play with that the whole year. I remember playing with that. Now I've noticed that you blink and, oh my God, it's Christmas. What? Wasn't it just March? Weren't we just hiding Easter eggs? And like, it's just so fast. And so very interesting, my clock started breaking and they would freeze at 12 o'clock. So I believe that there has been a reset. I don't think that that just happened where the clocks were getting all wonky and weird. I think that is proof, another more evidence of timelines collapsing, of a reset. I think that maybe we accomplished a whole chunk of work that we thought would take us this long, and then we did it like this.
Yeah.
Why? Because I feel like we're all so committed. We're like, come on, let's get this done. Let's get it done. Let's go. Let's go. And I think that that excitement, that energy, that work that we've been putting in, that has skyrocketed us.
Well, I think anti-aging is a sign of this. And because the more we work on being a higher vibration, the more time is going to fall away. I mean, so many of us, look at the people nowadays. I mean, I'm going to be 59.
You look fantastic.
Yeah. And people, when they find out my age, they're just shocked.
Yeah.
And you talk to people. I mean, when I was working, people that were younger than me that looked older than
you know
me.
what it is? It's the density. You don't have all that karmic density.
Yes. So that's, you know, so all the work that we're doing,
it makes a difference.
The anti-aging. Yeah. So it is. It's that anti-aging is evidence of this time falling away.
The up-leveling, the upliftment, the up-level. Yeah, you're lighter.
Yeah.
Happier.
Yeah. And for us to start connecting the dots and going, oh, you know, it's not that
it's a clue.
It's not that she's got a really good plastic surgeon, you know, or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I look at some of these stars and the work that they get done. It says you can just see that they're just so stuck in the body. The body to them is everything, and that's
and
not.
The body is important. I don't think it's the body. It's that need to please others, because really it's for others. Because it ain't for you.
Right.
Who cares?
Right. Or the body is important for your health. I mean, we say that we want to take the body with us. If we're doing the anti-aging thing, it means that we're slowly changing the body, the frequency of the body. So maybe we really are going to be able to take that body with us, or at least live in this body for 500 to 1,000 years, like a lot of
I believe that. I believe that. I do think that's true.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and I want to experience that. I want to see what that's like.
And I do, you know, it's like, I would really like to experience a world that is already integrated what it is we're fighting for.
Yeah.
So I'd like to experience the fruits of our labor.
Yes. Yeah. Let's start. I want to see what it's like to be winning again, to be, you know, the opposite of what it's been.
Yes.
And we've already stepped into that, because it feels like 2020 is already here. And look at 2020, that's perfect vision, right?
Yeah.
And now we're seeing, we can see the veil is gone.
Yes. Isn't that funny how, all that stuff, just that gematria of things,
Yeah.
2020 and
All
vision
the clues that are right here under your
yeah.
nose.
And Aquarius, I mean, it's the time of, the
Yeah.
Aquarius is the time of seeing the things, see the truth.
Yeah.
We're actually seeing the truth now. So fascinating. The last, since 2016, it's just been really hard. It's just been like, hurry up and wait.
Oh man, it's been chop wood, carry water. Chop wood, carry water.
Wax on, wax off.
With the illusion of I'm not doing enough, or I'm just sitting here, or I'm just taking a nap. Well, you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
And you don't even know it.
Yes.
That guilt, the guilt of not I think Abraham Hicks touched on this, where she said, the human beings tend to think that we have to do all the time, and you tend to think that that a lot of hard work has to be involved, but that's not true.
No.
I think the new way is good things magnetized to you, and they will come to you, and it's okay to take care of your physical body and take a nap and rest, and it's okay to set boundaries and be kind to yourself, and love yourself and do your healing work, and you don't need anybody's permission, and you'll still get all the rewards. And I think we've been groomed and taught, we've been programmed into thinking that everything has to be a struggle, a fight, and you have to suffer and be miserable and toil away. That's not true.
Well, like that old song, I think Joni Mitchell's song, I'm not really exactly sure what the name of the song is, but I remember it's back, we got to get ourselves back to the garden. We are stardust, we are golden. It's a song from the 60s. And, I just was so strong. It wasn't the biblical garden. It was before that. It was what we had before that. And it was, so, I made this t-shirt, and then I just made this new one, and it's back to the garden, and it's a person sitting, and they're meditating, and they got this big heart just shining, and then all of around them is all the animals, lions and giraffes, and and so it's like, this is for me, this is what I want to do. I want to get back to the garden. I want to be one with nature. And, because that's what's happening to these cyborg type people. They're stepping out of nature. They're stepping so much further away from nature. That disconnect, that will be the complete disconnect from this planet that is our mother. And we forget that so often.
I think that maybe those people that choose that is because they're galactic and they want to go home. And I feel like, hey man, rightly so, go home. So I think everybody's going to choose where they shift to.
Right.
And there is no wrong, even the people that stay in 3D. In life, I'm afraid of roller coasters. I don't like loud sounds. I don't like malls, only because I'm super sensitive, and everything is just, I feel everything in extremes. Sound is louder, temperature is very, I feel everything. So for me, I need silence, solitude, because everything is on 100. And some people that are numb because they've numbed themselves, like my ex, they need everything in extremes because they can't feel anything. So, they need it super loud. They need it super fast, super, the speed demons and all that. No, not for me. But see, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. If you want that extreme adventure, you're going to get it in 3D. You're going to get it and then some. But for me, I'm like, I know my soul is super old and tired, and I've already done that a lot, and I don't need that anymore. There's nothing wrong with that. Have fun, enjoy, but I'm going over here. With the animals. And the plants.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess, girl, that's a perfect time to end. We almost missed 11:11. I was gonna say at 11:11.
Is it 11:11?
It's 11:13, but I was gonna say it at 11:11, and then I was listening. So, but actually it's 11:14 right now. So let's end it at 11:14. So that's another good set of numbers. So
Yeah, well, it's been a really good year and it's good to catch up with you. And I'm so grateful that you're still in my life. And I feel like we need to extra honor those light workers and friends that are with us and have maintained that integrity, because I feel like that should be honored. That's huge. So those that don't leave our reality should be celebrated. We should really celebrate those friendships. So thank you, Denise.
oh, so welcome.
For being true blue.
I'm glad you haven't ejected me.
Me too. I appreciate you.
Yeah, so that's a good sign. And so, where some of us are still here, you know.
Yeah.
We've passed
Well,
the
thank
test.
you for allowing me to be a part of this, and
Oh,
so much love to everybody watching.
yeah, yeah. And here's to a wonderful, exciting 2020.
Oh
So
my God, yes.
talk
I'm
to you,
so ready.
talk to you all soon.